What's up, fight fans? We are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports Talk. I am your host, Edwin, and let me know that you hear me loud and clear as you come into the live stream. Let me just get set up here real quick. Put on the trusty headphones. How you guys doing out there tonight? Let me know where you're watching the live stream from. Let me know what city. Rep your city. Put it down in the comments. We got an interesting show for you here tonight. So, fight fans, as you're joining in, Armando, how you doing? What's up, family? How you doing, brother? I hope everything is well with you and your family and yourself. Always tuning in to the live stream, Armando. I could always count on you. Sounds good, Armando. You can hear me? You could just let me know real quick. We have a lot to get to. It's just so much about boxing right now. The Devin Haney saga, Naoya Inoue. I just can't wait for this guy to get in the ring because I really like to see and enjoy watching fighting performed at the best level. You know, when I watch fighters like Naoya Inoue, Terrence Crawford, Tank, things like that, guys like that of that caliber of fighting, I really watch them to see their technique, their approach to the game, and what they bring to the table, what they have to offer as fighters. Now, boxing, you know, there's a lot of fans that like to pick and choose their fighters, and they like to talk about their favorite fighter and he'll whoop his ass and beat him. But in actuality, what we're viewing are men and women that are warriors, all of them, even from the guy that gets knocked out the most, still a warrior in my eyes. Still going out there and competing, still going out there and giving it his all. And for someone to sit down and judge a man that goes out there and probably has a losing record that you've never done, you can't criticize that, could you? No, because that man took the opportunity, you know, and he faced boxing head on, you know, and he went in there and laced it up and made it a decision to give it a try, whether he won or not. And I can commend that. I could commend the men and women that go out there and, you know, try this thing called boxing. You know, it's not very easy. So, we have an amazing show for you here tonight. What's up, man? Carlos, how you doing? What's the mask, Carlos? In the building. That's what's up. That's what's up. How you doing? Well, some of the biggest fights right now are coming about, and a lot of fighters right now are going back and forth with negotiations. There's a lot of fighters that right now are trying to look for fights. In particular, Tank Davis. You know, Tank Davis has entered back into training, but the opponent is really not been ironed out yet. What's up, Frontline? How you doing? Uh, you know, the opponent for whatever date they're looking to shoot for hasn't really been ironed out yet. Now, Devin Haney, it seems like this Liam Paro fight is looking like it's going to happen more and more every day. Now, I'm not saying that the Liam Paro fight is sketched in stone, but it's almost there from what I'm hearing. My inside sources are telling me that this is a real fight. And Devin Haney, once again, is really thinking about going out to Australia. You know, look, all I can say for that fight right there, I hope that Devin Haney brings one of those belts back home to the United States, and we have another champion. I believe that Devin Haney, he's in a position in his career right now that a lot of people are giving him a lot of shit, and it's probably merited. Okay, he hasn't made the best decisions in the world, and the way he went on his approach to the loss to Ryan Garcia. All that being said about Ryan Garcia and the PE scandal, this, that, and the third, I believe that what Ryan had in his system really didn't give him that much of an advantage. Whether or not you could say he had a PE, yes, he had a PE, but we specified what kind of PE he had in his system, and that one was mainly to keep like muscle mass. Didn't give you any special skills. It wasn't for eye to eye coordination. It wasn't for anything in a fight that can give you an advantage as a boxer. It had to do with you and your body. Whatever performance you were going to put out that night, you basically was going to put it out yourself. That being said, Devin Haney got it overturned. He got himself into a little situation at a carnival. He seems to be facing legal allegations. So I'm not really too sure where Devin Haney stands right now. I think he really needs to get back into the ring. I wasn't so sure about, just being, it's going to be a little bit more than 3 months before he gets into the ring, but negotiation started at this point. So I expect him back into the ring. As far as some of the top guys right now, look, we're not going to get Tank Davis Shakur. Okay? Let's just, you know, let's just accept what's going on, right? So Shakur Stevenson has already decided to fight somebody else, Joe, and Tank Davis is looking for another opponent, in which, in fact, I like all of this. I fucking love it. Okay. I love the fact that Tank Davis nor Shakur Stevenson is allowing Lomachenko or Belichick there to like have them upset the cart, like in a sense, like they thought that the Americans were going to attack the Americans, and that Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis was going to eliminate themselves at the 135-pound weight limit, right? And that they would have two cracks at whoever wins that. But when Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis woke up, right, and decided, wait a minute, if they're not going to fight each other, well, we're not going to fight each other. You go fight somebody and I'll go fight somebody and we'll figure this out. I think within the calendar year, after Tank Davis fights whoever he's going to fight, Loma is probably going to be next for him. If Loma's really going to take a shot at trying to unify all four belts, that's basically what he's sticking around boxing for. Loma said the only thing he needs to accomplish in the sport of boxing is to be called king. The only man in his division that has a belt. There's a man like that. His name is Naoya Inoue, and we'll get to him shortly. Lomachenko, that's the only reason why he's sticking around in boxing. He's not getting any younger as the days go on. So if he's really thinking about making a run at the 135-pound king supremacy, he needs to start getting active. He needs to start going after that. He's not getting any younger. How much longer can Loma be in the game? Then when you got top prospects like Camille Moulton coming in, that kid right there, he's going to be a world champion one day. I really believe he will be. I just don't know if Tank Davis will still be at the 135 when he enters, or if Tank Davis is going to do that thing where he moves up to 140, which I really don't think he belongs there. I really don't think he should go up to 140 because that's not where Tank should be. Tank is only 5'5", right? And if I'm honestly speaking, he's truly a 130 pounder, Tank Davis. I don't even know what he's doing at 135, but 135 is like the even playing field for him. I think that's where he can pack on some weight and have a lot of power. But I think the guys are big at 135 for him as it is, and moving up to 140 would even be a bigger challenge. Now, rumors had it that he was thinking about having his fight against Jose Valenzuela, the one newly crowned 140-pound champion. Now, I can see Tank Davis fighting a fighter such as Jose Valenzuela, right? I could see that. You know, um, Jose Valenzuela did drop Edwin de los Santos. He lost in the fight against Edwin de los Santos, but he did a lot better in that fight than Shakur Stevenson did against Edwin de los Santos. Jose, he went out there, he took some chances, some risks, he made some rookie mistakes in the fight, but as well, Edwin did what he needed to do in the fight. Okay. And Edwin ended up, in fact, beating him in the fight. So a lot of people were speculating that it could be Jose Valenzuela that Tank Davis fights, which in a way doesn't make any sense for me. If you're the 135-pound champion, what the hell are you putting your nose in 140 when once you become champion in a weight division, you have obligations to that weight division. You have mandatories, contenders, and things, and you have a responsibility to hold up that belt as a true champion rather than fluctuate around playing around with boxing just because you felt you can beat one guy. And that's the same thing I'm doing and saying about Danny Swift Garcia going into against Lara, right? Are we going against him to fight him for the belt, to win the belt, to defend the belt? Are you really staying there? Or when you get back into the game, you should realize that that's not your weight division. You should have never started there, but you could take a fight there. But now when you win a belt, you have an obligation to that division. What's Danny gonna do? And he's talking about fighting Canelo at 168, even moving up higher. All these guys are coming in at different points in time. And I understand that a lot of these guys put in work, right? They put in work to get in the positions they were in. But once they start taking 1-2 years layoff, they might have put in a lot of work, but do you really believe that they should be able to jump the line? You really think that Danny Garcia deserves this fight against Lara at 160? He's never competed in 160 in a day in his life. How the hell does he automatically get a title shot? And that's what I mean about this ranking system. Yes, you have a big name. Yes, you can put seats in the stands. Yes. As in a business aspect, that's why they put these fights together. Because there's not a lot of people that can still put seats, butts in the seats like Danny and Lara combined. I think they stand to make more money that night. But ask the guy that's working hard coming up the division how he feels about that. He shouldn't give two fucks about what you guys are making on that night, and because Danny has a good name, who cares about that? I've been in the gym every day fighting in this weight division, fighting contender at the contender, challenge at the challenge, and you just walk up and they say, yup, give him a title fight. Politics. Politics. That's politics for you in boxing. And then if you're on the other side of that coin, right? And you're Danny and you put up all these performances and you gave blood, would you feel like you should be entitled to something like this? You're damn right you're going to. Because you feel like you've made a name for yourself. But it doesn't feel good to the men and women that are in line. And people just come in and jump the line because of stuff they did before. Well, you never did it in my weight division. And that's what it is. But fight fans, we have an amazing fight coming up. Naoya Inoue. Listen, this guy is amazing. Amazing. And I'm starting to feel a little sorry right now for Tj Doheny, right? Because all the evidence is piling up about Naoya Inoue and how he felt about going down for the first time in his career against Luis Pantera Nari. And I said it. I said, listen, I said, I feel sorry for the next guy they put in the ring with him because he's really going to try to go out there and get that monster image back. You know, when a lot of people saw him go down for the first time in his career, they felt like the invincibility cloak that he has, or this stigmaster, or like, this killer, right? They saw him go down, and everybody like thought the same thing. Wait a minute, he's human. He can be hurt. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger and what was it, the Predator, when he's like, if he bleeds, he can die. You know what I'm saying? Like they saw a chink in the armor, so to speak, with Naoya Inoue. And when people saw that, it kind of like gives the other fighters hope and say, wait a minute, like fighters like Donito Donaire and his wife that have been campaigning for years and saying Naoya Inoue can be beat. He just can't beat him. That's all. He knows he can be beat. He's the one that just can't do it. Listen, whether you know it or not, any man in the world can get their ass whooped. Yeah. Any man can be beat. Okay? All right? So I don't know what he thinks that he's saying. Like he says something like Donaire and his wife says something like impossible, right? No, Naoya Inoue could be beat. I knew that too. But you just got to figure out how to beat him. That's it. If you can't figure out how to beat him, then you don't know how to beat him. But according to Donaire and his wife, oh, they got the blueprint. They got the blueprint, and they're advocating and telling everybody this is the way to beat him. Really? How do you know how to beat him if you went up against him twice and lost twice? How would you know how to beat him? And the second time you fought him, oh my goodness, it was a brutal knockout. So talk is cheap. And you're going to hear a lot of talk about this Japanese guy. The reason why I bring him up so much and I talk him up the way I do is because it's the truth. If I'm covering boxing, then I want to cover the best of the best. Am I right? I want to bring the best fighter. And if the best fighter in the world is actually being talked about like this in some circles, there's a problem. Boxing is truly broken. There is a problem. If there's any man or woman that can actually watch this Japanese dude fight and say, he's a hype job. He's a hype job. Unfortunately, then I'm going to have to say, you just don't know what you're looking at. When in almost practically his entire career has been a highlight reel knockouts. Just a bunch of knockouts, back-to-back knockouts. That's all he really does. In fact, on a Naoya Inoue fight in the odds in Las Vegas, because I checked this out to see, like, sometimes I'll put a little $25, $50, $100 bet on something whenever, like, I'm like, okay, let me, I like these odds. Let me try this. But I'm not a really gambling man. I can't tell you anything about gambling. I'm the lowest gambler in the world. Trust me. Right. But when I went up to look up the odds for Naoya Inoue, right, it says 98% of people that put bets on Naoya Inoue throughout his career, 98% put a bet that he's going to knock the other guy out. Statistically, 98% of people that have ever put money on Naoya Inoue, the highest bet percentage on him is that he's going to knock his opponent out. When I was like, okay, I asked the guy, what's the highest thing I could bet on him? Like percentage wise, like that could be like a short thing. And he was like, well, 98% people that woke up here that put a bet, they only put money on him on a knockout. They don't say decision. No, knockout. That's what they're betting on. So it goes to show you that Naoya Inoue and the people are starting to know who he is, what he's about, and what he brings to the table in a fight. When you sign up to fight a fighter like such as Naoya Inoue, you're fighting up against a highly skilled fighter, very quick, very fast, very elusive on his feet, good defense, stingy on letting you get punches in, and last but not least, his power. His power is truly off the chart. You know, I've heard a couple people talk about the very thing that I saw, the very thing that I reported here on my show that I saw with my own eyes. I wasn't sure if a lot of people saw exactly what I saw. You ever say something or think of something, then all of a sudden you hear a bunch of people saying it, and you're wondering to yourself, y'all heard me say that, right? And it kind of like did that to me, right? And I was saying to myself, nah, they just probably saw the same thing, you know. But I'm telling you, I I I I've never heard it anywhere else. I never watched it in any video when I reported and I said that he hit Luis Pantera Nari with that uppercut and that straight shot, and that it was very little torque. All of a sudden, I'm on YouTube. There's like 10, 15 videos that I saw that are saying the exact same thing. And I'm like, are these people thinking that I saw it on a video and I'm coming back repeating shit? Well, if you're thinking that, no, I didn't. In fact, I went off exactly what I saw. Like, I got receipts. I watched the fight live. Okay. And I saw it. And when I saw it, I got to tell you, I really did that. Like, if you've been following me and you heard me talking about this, you know that I went back and I watched that video like 6, 7, 8 times because I talked about it. And I was just like in awe when I saw him hit him the way he hit him. I was like, wait a minute, you're not supposed to do that. The way he threw that shot, the reaction he got out, you're not supposed to do that. That's not supposed to happen. And then like Bruce Lee had this like famous 1.5 inch punch. But the only time I've ever actually heard or witnessed or saw on video that Bruce Lee ever attempted that shot was with a person standing mobile in front of him, meaning he had time to concentrate, pull his breathing in, get his chi out all the way to that shot. He had time to concentrate and to get that shot off. You see? Naoya Inoue did it within a split second. Within a split second, boop, boop, he generated that much power, that much torque on a moving target. It wasn't like no guy was standing in front and he was like, and he got to breathe. Right? He didn't do any of that shit. It was like, yo, it was quick. So it goes to show you that he has mastered that. And so when I watch him and I watch a fighter such as Naoya Inoue, I anticipate on seeing something new all the time. Tj Doheny is going to have a tough match in front of him against the Japanese superstar. A very tough match, right? I believe that this Irishman is up for the challenge. I think that he's going to go in there and he's going to fight his heart out. There is no way on God's green earth. I believe that Tj Doheny is going to go into this fight to lay down or to take a paycheck. That's not the kind of fight. This is not the kind of fight you do that in. Okay? You don't go into a fight taking a paycheck. The only time you really do that is, you're going in there. You don't really stand a chance against this guy. You're trying to pad his stats up. They ask you to go in there, fight. You wasn't gonna beat him anyway, but you give it your all, but you were outgunned type shit. That's kind of like that, right? This fight right here is not that kind of fight. When you get the phone call for 4 belts, that's gonna bring out the most motivation out of any fighter. It's gonna turn that guy into the best version of himself. So on September 3rd, Naoya Inoue is going to get the best version of Tj Doheny the world has ever seen. Mind you, Tj Doheny has stopped and knocked out Japanese champions before in Japan. His last 3 victories were all in Japan. I repeat that. Tj Doheny's last 3 victories were all in Japan. He's not going to be intimidated by the bright lights, the moment, none of that. Tj Doheny is coming into this fight to fight against Naoya Inoue to try to shock the world. You better believe it. And he's coming to Japan to try to defeat the monster. Tj Doheny is a tough, grit, Irish fighter that's going to come in there and he's going to give it his all. And as we know it, we've seen it time and time again throughout the histories of boxing. How many times have you seen the underdog come in and pull the victory? How many times? Right? That's why I give Tj Doheny his props. Also, the reason why you need to give Tj Doheny his credit for being a former world champion and the number 2 ranked opponent. So when Naoya Inoue defeats him, that's who he beat. Now, if I was to come up here and tell you Tj Doheny don't stand a chance against Naoya Inoue, the second, and I mean the second Naoya Inoue beats him, what are you going to say to me? Edwin, even you said he was a bum. Even you said he doesn't stand a chance. Even you said he was a cab driver. That's why I'm not calling Tj Doheny a cab driver, and I respect him as a fighter. I respect him as the man that stood up to Naoya Inoue and said, I'm not scared of you. Guess what? I'll fight you. When no one else said they would fight Naoya Inoue. But yet, he's a hype job. He's not what they say he is. Just no one wants to fight him. What happened to all the people that were calling him out? What happened to all the people that were calling him out at 118? What happened to all the people that said they were going to destroy him at 122? Where are they at? Where? Why is Tj Doheny getting this fight? If you think that there was other better fighters and bigger names that could have stepped up, if you think that there was actually other people that would step up to fight Naoya Inoue, where are they? Why hasn't they taken the fight? Why is Tj Doheny fighting Naoya Inoue? I'll tell you why. Because he was probably one of the only men that said, you know what? I'm not scared of you. I think I can beat you. And if you give me a shot at those 4 belts, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to rip your head off. That's what Tj Doheny said. Guess what, though? Guess who he's fighting? Naoya the Monster Inoue. Naoya the Monster Inoue heard all that shit talking before. Oh, yes, he has. He's heard it 100 times. And if Tj Doheny thinks he's going to come and walk into Japan and beat this Japanese fighter like he beat the others, he's going to learn like the world is going to find out on September 3rd. Mark my words. Naoya Inoue is going to beat the crap out of Tj Doheny, and I don't think he's going to get out of the 5th round. I'm giving him one more round than my earlier prediction, just to I'll give him one extra round. If Tj Doheny gets it out of the 5th round, I'll be surprised. I will be surprised, right? Because I'm thinking Naoya Inoue is coming in there to remind the world, yeah, you guys had a couple laughs of him going down against Luis Pantera Nari, couple memes here and there. Yeah, you had your chance. Now I'm going to hear it to remind you who I am. I am the monster. Naoya Inoue, and they call me the monster. for a reason. By the way, I never picked the name. This is the name that was bestowed upon me by the people that witnessed me beating the brakes off all opposition. And when they saw the way I knocked these men out, guess what they called me? The Monster. This is not a name he put on himself. He didn't have to put this name on himself. They branded him with this name, the Monster. The reason why they branded, they just don't give you that kind of name in the sport of boxing. You gotta earn it. You gotta be special for men to come out and say, man, this dude is a monster. Yeah, he is. And Naoya Inoue is gonna remind the rest of the world who exactly he is. September 3rd is gonna be an amazing fight for as long as it is a fight. I'm gonna tell you that right now. When I placed my bet, I meant to tell you I went with the knockout, the 98%. I said to myself, I think that's a sure bet. I'm gonna go with the 98. I'm gonna go. I don't know much about gambling, right? But I'm gonna go with that one. Right? When's the last time a Naoya Inoue fight went the distance? The last time a Naoya Inoue fight went the distance was Donito Donaire 1, I think. That's it. After the Donito Donaire one, I don't think there's been another fighter. If I'm wrong, or if I'm forgetting anybody, by all means correct me. But I don't think he's gone 12 rounds since the Donito Donaire fight. I think that was the last time he ever went 12 rounds. And the furthest he's ever been since the Donito Donaire fight was who? Was Paul Butler? 11 round? No, was Paul Butler after that? Who that? Blade? Yo, my man Blade. Yo, whenever they drop a donation, it stops me in my tracks and what I was saying, because I got to acknowledge the people that are supporting the brand. What's up, my man? And what you got to say? I'm going to throw it up. Whatever it is, let's throw it up right here. Love your energy. Like always, thank you for being unbiased and for always giving us a great news and thank you, my man. Thank you. Absolutely. This is why I do it. It was boxing hype. Who are you guys talking about? Frontline? Which one? No. Okay, I was talking about now. Anyway, yo, thank you, Blade, for the donation to the channel, my man. What I was talking about was, yeah, when was the last time Naoya Inoue went the 12 rounds? I believe. Okay, Paul Butler was the last belt. Last belt, he knocked him out in the 11th round, which I believe that was the furthest he went in a round besides 12 rounds, but he did end up stopping Paul Butler. He had already knocked out Donito Donaire in the second fight before he beat Paul Butler, because once he beat Paul Butler, 30 days after he beat Paul Butler, he vacated all belts. That's right. Okay. So, yes, I just had to do the, real quick assessment in my head. Donaire was the last person he went 12 rounds with. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken. And I don't think I am. I've watched all his fights, but sometimes I can be wrong. I have a lot of fights inside of my head, and I talk fast and I think fast. So if I happen to fumble, it's your job as my chat family to back me up, and drop it down there for me real quick. You know what I mean? So what's up, Carlos? How you guys doing? Edwin, what's up? Frontline, if Frontline changes his pick, yo, he ain't getting no pick. Frontline ain't getting no early pick. He don't get to dictate You know what I'm saying? Don't worry, Bam Bam. All picks are final on fight night. That's when the picks come in. And Frontline ain't got no secretary here to hold on to his picks and shit. Don't pay no attention to Frontline. Bam Bam. Your safe is okay. Hey, Frontline, listen. Bam Bam is going down, bro. You need to take him down. Don't let him know I told you that. Anyway, yo, Bam Bam. Yo, listen, my man. You the champion, all right? Phony baloney, Frontline. Phony baloney. Anyway, listen. Hey. Yo. Donaire is Doheny is 4-0 in Japan, Frontline. Yes, he is. He's definitely 4-0. And the thing is that, you know, this fight is not an easy fight for Naoya Inoue. And a lot of people, just because he's so dominant and he's so skilled, you got to understand what I've been preaching this entire time on my shows, the respect of the other fighter. You understand? Respecting and acknowledge the other fighters for who they are as fighters. These are professional pro fighters that are getting in this ring. Naoya Inoue is not fighting the top 20 guy, the top 30 guy. No. He got a top 2 ranked opponent right here in Tj Doheny. And the top 2 ranked opponent is still not good enough for some fans. Miraculously. Shit, that was a tongue twister. You know what I'm saying? It's the truth. It is the truth. A lot of people are not trying to give him credit for Tj Doheny stepping up and saving the day. Tj Doheny is the reason why we're getting this fight, ladies and gentlemen. Make no mistake. Without Tj Doheny, we do not have a fight on September 3rd because no one else stepped up. Not even the mandatories that hopped in the ring and threatened them and said, you need to fight me. Not even that guy, Sam Goodman. So now a lot of people are starting to hear throughout the boxing world, especially the boxers, right? That Naoya Inoue might be still fighting at 122 for a little bit longer. Now, the question is whether or not he's going to move up to 126 pounds at the end of the year, entering the new calendar year 2025, or when we enter the 2025, will he stay in the 122 pounds? Now, let's just be honest, people. Let's just be honest. If he stays at 122 pounds, he's probably not going to go down as the best 122 pounder that ever lived. He's probably not going to go down as the best super bantamweight champion. Nah, I don't think so. Not when you got fighters like Wilfredo Gomez, you know, Puerto Rican champion. Naoya Inoue, he would never break his record. And I don't see it happening. So staying at 122, he might make a good run. He might be the best Japanese super bantamweight champion, but he's probably not going to go down as the best superweight welterweight champion ever in the world that's ever seen. You know, I might not know every super welterweight champion in the world, but I do know Wilfredo Gomez had 17 title defenses. And all 17 title defenses were by knockout. So he defended his title 17 times and knocked out all 17 opponents. So you think Naoya Inoue is going to defend all 4 of those belts 15 more times? And knock out everybody he's fought against in order to get in the room with him. You see, it's one thing that he has all 4 belts, which is better than Wilfredo. You know, okay. Now you could put up those 4 belts, right? And the 4 belts title defenses, multiple ones. If he can get like 6, 7 title defenses, you could put that up against 17 1 title defenses. Meaning, Wilfredo Gomez had like 1 belt. He might have defended it 17 times, but he's got all 4. And he's continuously so it's kind of like when you think about it, right? Okay, in sports, right? Football, right? What is the best Super Bowl trophy in the world? The most prestigious Super Bowl game the world has ever seen. Who has the best trophy? The best Super Bowl game, right? In my opinion, the best Super Bowl trophy right now is that Atlanta versus New England Patriot game when Tom Brady came back 28-3 going into the fourth quarter. That's got to be one of the greatest Super Bowl comebacks. That trophy's strong. You could put that trophy against any Dallas, fucking Pittsburgh game. It's just the way he did it, the magnitude, the first overtime in any Super Bowl history, that he brought so much. No one has ever come back from a deficit that large in a Super Bowl game. I mean, he just piled, Tom Brady just broke that down. So that trophy, that's got to be one of the strongest trophies, hand down. I mean, I can't remember every freaking trophy, and I wasn't probably alive for a couple, 20 of them or so, but I've never seen no Super Bowl like that in my freaking life. That's got to be the strongest one. So when you're talking about Naoya Inoue's reign, right? If you can defend undisputed status 6, 7 times, and if no other fighter has ever done that, right? You might have not defended your belt 17 consecutive times and knocked everybody else out, but you defended all 4 belts 7, 8 times. The value of that, you could probably start to make a good argument. You could probably start to, but until he does something like that, he's not even going to pass like our great super bantamweight champion, which I think he's going to go down as probably the greatest super bantamweight champion that ever lived, Wilfredo Gomez for Puerto Rico. That's going to be tough to beat. In order to be a better champion than him, you have to have a 100% knockout ratio, and then also defend your title on 100% knockout ratio until like the way tail end of, like, at the very, very end of his career. Even when he suffered his first loss, that he moved up and he moved back down, he still went back and defended that title several more times before walking off into sunset. I think his record was like 44-3-1, right? With 42 knockouts. Like I said, all 17 title defenses at 122 were all by knockout. All 17. So if Naoya Inoue is trying to like go down in history as the best, he might not be able to do that. He might have been able to do it at 118. Now, 118, he already did it. Technically, he probably went down as one of the best bantamweight champions to ever. Wait a minute, you got that guy, but that's like 50 years ago, bro. You got to draw a line in the sand. That's when you're talking about rounds past 15 rounds. These guys were fighting until one guy died, basically. I can't compare that era with this era. You know, going down. Wilfredo Gomez was fighting in a 15 round era. Yes, he was. Yes, he was, because I remember that fight with that slugfest he had just after he lost. It was like 2 fights after he lost to Sergio, right? Wilfredo Gomez went 15 round. He knocked the guy out in the 14th round. Yeah, that's right. So, see, like my brain be working, right? Yeah, anyway, he's not going to be able to like beat him in that stat. So moving up to 126 is probably a better accomplishment rather than staying at 122. I don't think he's got enough time in the weight division to declare himself the best super bantamweight champion the world has ever seen. I don't think he's going to grab that title. I mean, you know, as his body of work alone by itself, oh, he's done enough, and he stands to do more. Now, when you put him against like fighters like Wilfredo Gomez, hands down, Naoya Inoue has a better resume. You know, he has a better resume with the 2 divisions, all 4 belts. He just accomplished more boxing shit. Now, as individual champions, that would kind of be up to for an opinion because although you have all four belts, that's still just one weight division. It's as good as you having just one belt. The guy that has one belt is basically getting the same recognition as you're getting as all four belts. You just have a different title. You're undisputed. Now, that title is the biggest title you can get. There's no doubt about it. One belt then falls kind of to the wayside to that. But as credit, you only get credit for one division. Four belts crushes one belt. Yes. Yes, it does. Absolutely. It's fucking way better to have all four than one, right? But the guy that got one is getting the same credit for one division in his career. He's got one division. He might have all four belts, but I got one belt and I got one division. Same shit. Same shit. Same shit. You know, the guy with four, yeah, he's going to get a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, same shit. Same shit. So that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Yeah, he might have all four, but it's what you did throughout the division. You know, did you definitively wipe everyone out? Did you beat what Fredo Gomez did? He was just spinning the block at 122. Like he was running out of just people to fight. You know, so that there's a difference. That's cleaning house. That's and Naoya Inoue's dominance. That's where we're at. It's between that's where the opinion is going to be lied. Whether you feel dominance is more important than cleaning house. 17 title defenses, all by knockout. Ah, that's gonna be tough to beat. That's gonna be tough to beat. Yeah, it is. But as far as Naoya Inoue and what he's accomplishing as a fighter, as for himself, perfect, bro. There's nothing I can't say, man. You know, he's truly taking care of business in his weight divisions like we would like the rest of our fighters to do as such. We would like Shakur Stevenson or Tank Davis or Loma as one of them to step up and declare themselves king. You can't declare yourself a king if we're all even. You got a belt, he's got a belt, he's got a belt, I got a belt. No definitive king. Now, yeah, in a ways division, he got all four belts. There's no argument. There's no other champion in his fucking division. It's only one, him. That's it. You know, and then we have Arthur Benavidez and Demetrius Bivol. They're about to fight for king supremacist in their weight division, right? And as soon as that fight is over, there's going to be a king announced. There'll be another man in boxing with all four belts. Yes. Whatever happened to Sam Goodman? Oh, you don't know? Sam Goodman? Sam Goodman jumps in the ring, threatens Naoya Inoue, calls Naoya Inoue a week later, tells Naoya Inoue's team he cannot take the fight for the September 3rd date. This is supposed to be Sam Goodman. Naoya Inoue is supposed to be fighting. But Sam Goodman alerted him, told him, I'm not ready for you just quite yet. Let me take a tune-up fight in between so that I can get ready to fight you. So Naoya Inoue's team said, well, all right, we can't force you to fight us. Do you? So Sam Goodman goes out and fights a fight that not only did he struggle to win against like the 122 ranked opponent in the world, this guy was like down there, right? He broke both hands. So Sam Goodman gave up this opportunity to fight Naoya Inoue September 3rd to bank on the fact that he would come back and be his opponent in the December date. Now that he broke both hands and he's allegedly saying that he's nursing both hands, now all of a sudden he's not going to be ready for the December date. So just like we're getting Sam Goodman here that stepped up and saved the September 3rd date, because no other fighter picked up the phone and said, hey, I'll fight you, Naoya Inoue. Not one. Sam Goodman was the only one that had the big enough cojones to say, you know what, Naoya Inoue, I'll fight you. And because of him, we're getting a Naoya Inoue fight September 3rd. Without him, I'm not too sure we get one. Because Naoya Inoue wasn't going to agree to fight like the top 10 ranked guy. He's not going to agree to that. So thank God for Tj Doheny. Now, allegedly, Sam Goodman is supposed to fight Naoya Inoue in December. Do you really think that he's going to fight him in December? Probably not. Why do you think Casamara is getting in the ring right now? Casamara and Casamara's team is baking on the fact that if he can go out there and have a good account of himself, that just maybe he can slide in and get this Naoya Inoue fight when no one else wants to fight him. It's up to Casamara to pull off one of the best victories of his life, to get his name back in, and for us to take him seriously. Even though this is a scheduled 10-round fight for Casamara, and his health hasn't been, the best, right? And his breathing, everything is coming into question. We all know and we heard the stories, right? But the thing is that what's going on? Casamaro feels like win, lose, or draw, that'll still be my biggest payday. And what if I do pull up the upset? Casamaro's a fighter. He's a fighter. He's a live dog. Casamaro's a live dog. So, he might be a wounded Casamaro or whatever, but his name alone would definitely sell some tickets. So Casamaro sees an opportunity. I know exactly what he's doing. I know exactly, because boxers all talk. Coaches talk, boxers talk, boxing circles, us, we talk, ESPN. The world knows by now what Sam Goodman did. And the ripple effect that it's causing with Naoya Inoue getting fighting guys to get in the ring with him now. They can't even find guys to get in the ring with him. So maybe that might just push him to go into 126 when he sees, wow, there's just not nobody here. When you got the number one guy of the weight division in 122 pound fighting another fight on another card, Stephen Kubo Fulton, he's the number one guy. When the number one guy in the weight division said, I don't want no part of him, what do you think these rest of these dudes are going to say? He's running down them, and within basically 1 year of entering the division, he already got less than a year. He already got guys in the division don't want to fight him. And MJ and his camp, I'm starting to see that they're full of shit. At one point in time, I really thought this, that Naoya Inoue would be a great fight against Marlon Tapales, and that Marlon Tapales really wants to fight Naoya Inoue. And if he keeps going by too many fights, I'm going to start to question that, right? There was once upon a time, and I remind you, Marlon Tapales was champion during this time, right? Ever since then, nah. I said to myself, nah, he looks good against these guys. He even looks like he's been fighting in a couple close fights, which made me think. I said to myself, if MJ's going to war with these guys, and Naoya Inoue barely got touched by the guy that put and took MJ's belt and put him in a war. MJ, for the first half of that fight, was lost against Marlon Tapales. MJ started coming on strong later in the fight. MJ had a better second half than he did in the first half of the fight. But basically, he was in a fight. Now, if the guys that are taking you to war, 12 round decisions, taking your belt, basically, we gave Marlon Tapale props for what he was able to do against Naoya Inoue. That's what we did. We recognized that he was outgunned, but the performance that he put up, we all admitted. We were like, wait a minute, his performance was better than Stephen Kubo Fulton's. It looked better than it, right? So the best guy that gave him the best fight at 122 pounds, actually, in reality, he wiped Marlon Tapales down. Marlon Tapales might have won one round, and that's how we're talking about him. Might have won one round, maybe. And we're thinking that maybe he won one round, and that was the best performance against Naoya in a way. That was the best performance against him. A guy that might have won one round. I don't think a lot of people are really paying attention to what's going on here. If you were to look up Naoya Inoue statistics, round by round fight against all his 27 opponents, statistically, he's won about 97% of all rounds. 97%. Throughout his entire career, Naoya Inoue's entire fight career, all 27 fights, you would have to go through it with a fine-tooth comb to find rounds that he actually lost. Yes. And the round that he lost, allegedly on the books against Nonito Donaire when he got his orbital bone fracture, the only reason why he actually lost that round is because of the blood. I want that to be clear. Not because he actually lost the fight in punches landed or scoring. Because in fact, the fight that the round that round two, in fact, that Donito Donaire fractured his orbital bone, Naoya Inoue outboxed him and outfought him in that round. He actually did. In my book, he actually won the round that he got his orbital bone broke. He actually won it, right? But that's not how the judging and the scoring goes. Because there was blood, you get points for blood. You get points for a cut, especially if the cut was deemed a punch, not a headbutt. That's basically going to make it a 10-8 round almost, or it's going to guarantee you the round. Unless Naoya Inoue would have knocked him down or cut his eye, it was very certain that Nonito Donaire was going to be awarded the round because of the cut. Yeah. Even though he got outboxed and outfought in the round, which I know Naoya Inoue, I watched it multiple times. He won that round. But by point system, you can't give him the round because Donaire got blood out of him. And that's the right thing to do. On the point sheet system, you should have gave that round to Donaire. Of course. Yes. Yes, you should have. Yes. 97 sounds about right. Yo, it is about right. I know it is. Yo, it's freaking ridiculous. It's ridiculous what he's doing. It really is. And I've always said this. I've always said this. I always said, unfortunately, like a lot of the greats and a lot of our legends in sport, people are not going to appreciate him until he's gone. Until he's finally gone and you're watching fighters and you're realizing, man, these guys suck. They don't move like this. Hype job now. Oh, yeah, Inoue. Well, at least they called him that. Wait a minute. Maybe he wasn't a hype job. Maybe this let's watch his highlights. And they're gonna start going, wow, man, he was the best. And he's gone. He's gone. You'll never see him again, but in highlights. I don't want you guys to miss out on that. If you guys like fighting, you like action, you like those moments, that oh shit moment, listen, pay attention to this guy. It doesn't matter what nationality he is. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter he's Japanese, American, Chinese, Russian. That shit don't matter, bro. He's a man just like you and I. Okay? That's it. That's all I see. A warrior. That's it. And if you want to see one of the best fighters, the best warriors we have, Naoya Inoue is that dude. Trust me, September 3rd, you will not be let down. Win, loss, or in defeat, doesn't matter. Look, any man could lose. Even if you tuned in September 3rd and we saw Naoya Inoue get knocked out, it still wouldn't matter. Okay? He's going out there and he's fighting like a warrior. He's in a fight. And if he got knocked out, I bet you he'd be back. Okay? Because the fight business, the hurt business, there's very few men that ever walk out of this game unscathed. And for the men and women that did it, don't they come with a lot of controversy? No, you didn't fight everybody. No, you didn't clean out the weight division. No, you didn't fight this guy. There's always and try to call out your undefeated status, right? But truly, as a fighter, there's no other fighter that's doing it quite like Naoya Inoue. And I have to admit that. I have to admit that. I have to admit, I don't see any other fighter fighting multiple champions back to back, the number one guy or the champion, and just throughout going through 4 weight divisions. I've never seen that in the history of boxing. I've never saw any man or woman ever do anything like this. In fact, because there isn't. There is no man that's ever done some shit like this. There was a man one time I looked up in boxing. It was a ridiculous stat. It was like a ridiculous stat, right? And it was so long ago, 1912. 1912, right? There was this guy that fought like a ridiculous amount of times in like a month span, like 1 month span. He fought something like 34 times in 1 month or some shit. It was like ridiculous. He must have fought twice in 1 day or something. Like he had like this ridiculous stat, and back then times were different. Times were different, you know. At certain point in time, we really need to like establish when should you consider this, when you should consider that. We really need to, because I can't keep getting in arguments with guys about a guy in 1915, 1920, 1930, and you're trying to talk about him compared to these guys. It's just not fair. It's not fair. It really isn't. Because if you ask me, right, Rocky Marciano, right, which was the heavyweight championship of the world, which he beat Joe Walcott, right, in Madison Square Garden, right? He hit him with that shot, heard around the world. He called it the Suzy Q. Remember, if anybody knows that, right? Um, so Joe Rocky Marciano, right? He retires undefeated and so forth. And there are a lot of people in circles that say that Rocky Marciano is like the greatest heavyweight of all time, that he retired undefeated. And I'm like, I'm not sure about that. No. Rocky Marciano weighed 180 pounds. And that's what the heavyweight champion was at that time, I guess. 180 pounds. That's what he weighed. There's just no way he can go down as the best heavyweight champion of the world when these guys are 260, 270, 240, anywhere between that, 6'8", 6'9", 6'6", 6'5". Rocky Marciano is all of what? 5'10"? If that, at 180 pounds. Yeah, he retired undefeated. Yeah, there was only one belt at the time. Yeah, there was, you know, I just can't consider him to go down as the greatest heavyweight of all time. Good for you. You retired undefeated, but I just don't think that you would beat any of these guys. It would Rocky Marciano at 180 pounds fighting Tyson Fury. I don't think that would work out too good for him. I don't care what anybody says. I would no, no. So obviously we have to draw a line in the sand. We really do. We have to determine when can we, because what he's doing right now, Naoya Inoue, you can't use these guys from the 1930s, the 1950s, 60s, or 70s, and maybe the seven. Well, see that's where we got to talk about, right? Because it's not fair. There were two different eras, two different times. They did their shit in their time. He's doing it in our time. And what he's doing right now is not easy. If it was easy, I dare anyone else to do it. Why don't you guys follow in his footsteps? You know why you can't do that? Because you're soon finding out how special and how dominant he truly is. When you see his kid brother, the mirror image of him, but without the power, goes to show you his kid brother now. Inoue's kid brother is very skilled. He looks great as a boxer. Good form. You know, his selection of punches is different from his brothers. Now, yes, I understand that. But he still looks great. He still boxes well. He can't do it. Junto Nakatoni, what you guys are considering to say, he might just beat Naoya Inoue. Really? He might beat Naoya Inoue? Tell him to do Naoya Inoue shit. I'll wait. I'll be right here. Go tell him to get all the 4 belts. Go. Tell him to move up to 2 separate weight divisions. Show me, because it just so happens all the men that Naoya Inoue ran through to do exactly that, guess what? They're all still right there. At the same exact time, with the same level of competition. Tell them, go do it. And tell Junto Nakatoni I said that. Go tell him. You know what? He's not going to be able to do it. And he won't be able to do it. For as much as you guys like him, I love Junto Nakatoni. I like his style. I like his flair. I like his knockout power. But I got to be honest. If he could do Naoya Inoue shit, why isn't he doing it? Why? Because there are killers out there. And you got to tread softly in those lower weight divisions, because those where the speed demons live. And it's not easy. Styles make fights. But yet, they're watching Junto Nakatoni knock out Maloney, knockout of the year, and all of a sudden, that's good enough for me. He can already beat Naoya Inoue. Wow, what a disrespect to Naoya Inoue's body of work. So quickly, he knocks out one guy. Guess what? That makes him better than him. Really? Really? Next thing you're going to say is that Jaron Bruce Ennis should fight Terrence Crawford. No. Not unless Terrence Crawford's dumb. You mean to tell me Terrence Crawford had to do all that work, fight all the 135, 140, 147, now 154, for this guy to get emailed a belt, not fight anybody in the fucking planet, and he automatically deserves a shot because the fans say so? Because you guys feel, oh, Jaron Boots Ennis is the next best thing. He's got great talent. He should fight Terrence Crawford. Well, you know what? He hasn't earned that fight to be in the room with Terrence Crawford yet. Tell Jaron Boots Ennis that I said, go do some shit first. Then you can get in the fucking ring with Terrence Crawford after you accomplish some shit. If he's still around, which I doubt he'll be. Right? Which I'm glad that it's not going to be an American that takes out an American, actually. Right? But the truth is the truth. I'm sick of these guys trying to get a free ride to the top without putting very little work in. You want a free ride to the top, but you don't want to do no work. Junto Nakatoni never said any of that shit, but the fans do. Junto Nakatoni, as a fighter, he knows himself, I need to do some shit first before you put me in the conversation with Naoya Inoue. But you let the fans tell it, oh no, he's ready. He's ready. No, he's not ready. No, he's not ready. And no, he does not deserve the fight just yet. Another year or so? Yeah. Another year or so? Yeah. I'll see Junto Nakatoni fighting Naoya Inoue. But I want Junto Nakatoni to be better prepared. I don't want him rushed along to go in there and then quickly lose against Naoya Inoue. No. I need somebody to come up and challenge this Japanese dude, bro. And I need somebody to be on his level. Stop rushing guys in against Naoya Inoue and getting them beat before they had a time to be well prepared to fight him. See, Naoya Inoue is looking for that guy just like I'm looking for that guy to fight him. You know why? Because when you're at this level, man, what good is it to just wipe everyone down? You need that person across the ring from you in the middle of that round that got you second guessing yourself. That's like, man, this guy is tough. Oh, yeah, come on, baby. This is him. He's here. It's him. I finally got a challenge. Someone to stand up to me. Come on, let's go. Let's go. I got to find out. And that's what it's all about. But when Naoya Inoue is just wiping these guys out, and you guys are like, oh, this guy can't do it. This guy can't do it. No. But stop rushing the guys that I believe that have potential to do it. You know, Bam Bam is down there, man. You know, he's a little bit down there, man. And I got my eye on him. I want to see what his next moves are, right? Bam Rodriguez, right? Because that's another guy that I think that got potential. But I'm not willing to sign off on Junto getting in the ring with Naoya like anytime soon right now, like at this year or any point like that. I would love to see it though. I want to see it. But I just think that Junto just needs a little bit more experience and he needs to get in there with a speed demon. Someone that has like the same speed. Now, if I see Junto Nakatoni fight Stephen Kubo Fulton, but Stephen Kubo Fulton moved up to 126. I think in the Canelo card, he's moving up to 126. But had I seen him fight a fighter such as Stephen Kubo Fulton, or, okay, like the Marlon Tapales, or the MJ, or the Casamera, right? If Junto could come in and prove himself against these guys, let's say he gets in the ring with those guys and he defeats them much better than Naoya Inoue, now we talking. Now we talking. Now I think, depending on the way it comes out, the way I see it in my eye test, and I'm saying, okay, maybe Junto might be ready for him, right? But as of right now, today, he ain't ready for him. Listen, look, you could have an opinion. You could say what you want. Fighting is fighting, and boxing is fighting, and champions are champions for a reason. The champions are champions for a reason. Believe me, they are. This is the fight business. You're not that decorated as a champion, and you're not him. Naoya Inoue, you better make no mistake. That's him. Yes, he is. He's he's at the highest standard of the boxing world. How are you going to say that he's at in the same breath, he's the greatest pound for pound fighter in the world, but all of a sudden this guy with one belt, I don't see, and it doesn't even prove just because he has one belt. That's a bad analogy for as of my part, because you could have one belt, just wasn't given an opportunity, and still stand to beat him, and people think that you could beat him. Yeah, 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 yeah. That probably wasn't the best analogy, right? But what I'm saying is that I don't think that he has the experience to fight a fighter such as Naoya Inoue currently right now. I do not believe it. I do not see it. I love his height. I love his length. I like his selection of punches, juntos. I just think Naoya Inoue, when it comes down to it, he's just that much smarter. And he has all the skills that Junto Nakatoni has and then some. So there's not really too much that Junto brings to the equation that's going to overwhelm him, I feel. I just feel that it was going to come down to a matter of Junto catching him straight up. And then, really utilizing his strength, his speed, and his power to try to like overwhelm and push back Naoya in a way. I don't see you beating Naoya in a way, allowing him to be coming forward and fight off the front foot. I don't think you're gonna beat him. He's really skilled. He's a real skilled boxer. He's gonna be real difficult to beat when he's really in his groove. I really think that if Junto Nakatoni was to fight Naoya in a way, he would have to keep him either pushing back or try to get him to react quick off punches, throw a lot of feints, and keep the pressure in his face. And Junto Nakatoni with that long jab, hopefully he could put that jab up and down, move it. Naoya Inoue loves to punish the jab. That's his trademark. If you throw a jab, as soon as you go to throw that punch down, he's gonna snap you on the side of your head. Just like go look at any of the fights that anybody's ever thrown a jab at Naoya Inoue. He sidestep and punches you in the side of your head. And then those guys don't like to throw jabs the rest of the fight. Yeah. Naoya Inoue has several ways that he takes his opponent's jab away. It's just not like some guys only will try to pat and block it and put up like their glove in front of the other guy. That's their only way of taking a person's jab away. Naoya Inoue got 4 or 5 different ways that he has already shown in multiple fights how to take the jab away from his opponent. Yo, he's really skilled, man. This freaking guy, man. He's like I say, man, he's probably the best overall fighter that I've seen in quite some time. There's a lot of fighters that were really skilled, fast, elusive, not a lot of knockout power. Not at all. A lot of their fights went 12 rounds. Yeah. And then there's a lot of fighters that got a lot of knockout power, not a lot of speed. He's a rare blend at that weight. He's really truly a rare blend that you rarely don't see it. There's guys that yes knock out people at that weight. It's not like every person down there doesn't have any power. No, they'll get a knockout, an occasional knockout in between fights and shit. But it'll be like 2 fights that they went the distance, and the next one might be a knockout, and so forth and so forth. Not at the percentage rate that Naoya Inoue is knocking these guys out. No, it is not. So that's what I want to make forefront. Make very clear, bring to the forefront that he's just doing it at a much, much, much better, a much better way than everyone else. So, fight fans, listen, guys. Yeah, listen. On Frontline, I'm about to catch you guys tomorrow myself. I've been on for a little while right now. Jujo don't stand a chance. Yo, brother, your name is messing me up. It's bad enough I need glasses, right? Does that say Nygar? Man, listen, if I got that messed up, you know who you are. Yo, I promise you guys, I'm getting them in. They coming. They coming. The glasses is coming. Y'all can barely see this screen, man. That's just crazy. But you're right though. I can see what you're saying on the bottom because it's the words on the bottom are a little bit bigger, so I see them just a little bit better. Ah, but absolutely, guys. Listen, man, it's been an amazing show. Please don't forget to like the video. Please take your time out so that the channel grows and it keeps me doing these videos and bringing them to you guys. If you can, please subscribe to the channel, share the videos, and like always, if you got anything you guys want to talk about, boxing, any of the fights, please leave them in the comments below. I always read all my comments and I reach out to all the fighters. What's up, Gentle Puppy Boxing? How you doing? Haven't seen you in a while, man. So like always, fight fans, leave your comments down in the comments below, and don't forget to like the videos. Thank you for watching, and I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round